I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
Well, careful what you wish for, because here I am for another week of Muscle in the Morning. Let's go. So we at RxMuscle are not sure if what we're seeing from Derek Lunsford right now falls under the category of a rich getting richer situation, but as a bodybuilding equivalent, it's got to be pretty damn close. The progress that he's made over the last 4 months is absolutely insane, especially when you take into account that we're talking about a guy who is currently ranked second in the world, because it's just not normal to see guys at this level progress so quickly. For all intents and purposes, what he's doing now feels like it's unprecedented, and he probably isn't even close to reaching his ceiling yet. Now, whether or not he'll have the conditioning and muscle maturity to beat Hadi outright at this stage of his career remains yet to be seen. But if he keeps going at this rate, by the time we reach November, there's a potential that he's going to be an absolute juggernaut who's just blasting through everyone else in his path. Alright, how about this? From one former 212 champ to another, we have a brand new update for you from the 212 GOAT Flex Lewis, who looks like he's adjusting well to life after bodybuilding. The former 7-time Olympia champ released the first physique update that we've seen from him in months late last week. And even though he isn't carrying around anywhere near the level of muscle that he had a few years ago, we could definitely do a lot worse than rolling out of bed and looking like this. Outside of the quantifiable stuff like the wins and the titles, and the things that Flex probably doesn't get enough credit for, is what he did to popularize this division, because even now, settled comfortably into retirement, you can still feel the reverberations of his impact from the new generation of bodybuilders who are coming up. He isn't just the best 212er of all time, he's one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, period. And it's going to be a long time before we see anyone even come close to eclipsing his record. Alright, now we're going to segue from two former 212 Olympia champs into an update from a potential title contender this year in Keon Pearson, as we follow his announcement a few days ago that he was targeting the Texas Pro as the new landing spot for his season debut. Up to this point, most of the headlines for the Texas Pro have come out of the open division, but anytime you have a guy of Keon's caliber inserting himself into the lineup, it's bound to have a gravitational pull that will end up drawing in a handful of other top guys from the 212, especially when you consider how many people will still be looking to clinch an Olympia bid at that point in the season. But for Keon, a strong showing there will go a long way toward building up momentum heading into the back end of the season, which could end up being huge when you consider how tight the race is for those top 3 or 4 spots there. Okay, every year at the Pittsburgh Pro, Jim Mannion basically rolls out the bodybuilding version of the Monstars for essentially what becomes the biggest guest posing event of the year. And, according to reports, it looks like this year's list just received a major addition now that we have confirmed that RAFA Brandeo will be bringing his talents to the Steel City for the first time. Outside of the fact that this will be RAFA's first time guest posing in Pittsburgh, another important thing to keep in mind here is that this show is scheduled for September 3rd, which means that it's only a few weeks before the Olympia. So we should see all of these guys, including RAFA, pretty close to contest ready. Between RAFA, Ramy, Derek, and whoever else ends up making their way there, this year's lineup is probably going to end up being the best that we've ever seen, which makes this must-see TV. And if RAFA looks as good as some people are predicting, he has a chance to come out of the weekend with some serious momentum behind him. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm your boy Tyler, holding it down for RxMuscle, and we'll see you here tomorrow.